Do you feel like you're constantly catching colds no matter what you do? It might not just be bad luck. It could be a sign that chronic inflammation is weakening your immune system. And in today's episode, I want to dive into how inflammation could be making you more vulnerable to illness and what you can do to support your immune system naturally. So from the foods that you eat to the state of your gut, we're covering the ways to help reduce inflammation and get back to feeling your best again. So stay tuned, because if you're tired of being sick and tired all the time, then this is the episode for you. Hey friend, welcome to Gut Fix. Are you ready to finally get rid of those debilitating digestive symptoms? Do you catch yourself staying up late Googling things like, what can I eat? Or how do I stop a flare? Or maybe you're just lying awake wondering, how did this ever happen to me? I'm Wendy, and I've been exactly where you are, desperately searching for answers, but determined to find natural solutions. And like you, I was overwhelmed by all the conflicting information out there and unsure of what might really work for me. And so now in this podcast, I'm here to share with you what I've learned, how to listen to your body's signals, and uncover the common mistakes that might be standing in the way of your healing. So grab your favorite drink, pop in your earbuds, and let's dive into your health transformation together. If you're concerned that chronic inflammation could be behind your frequent colds or your other health issues, there's one simple test that will give you valuable insight, and that is to test your omega-3 to omega-6 balance. These essential fatty acids play a huge role in managing inflammation, and by getting them into balance, it's key to supporting your immune system and your overall health. And that's why I recommend taking the balance test. It's a very simple, inexpensive at-home test that shows you exactly where you stand and what you can do to bring your body back into balance. Just sign up for your free 30-minute discovery call. You can find the link in the show notes below, or you can go directly to bit.ly/freehealth4you. That's bit.ly, bit.ly/freehealth, the number 4, you. All right, let's get on with the episode. Hey there, welcome back to Gut Fix. So today I want to talk about something that I know a lot of people deal with at this time of year. We're coming into the fall. Our days are going to start to get shorter. It's colder out. We're spending more time indoors. And that means that you could be constantly catching colds. I mean, it's like no matter what you do, you always end up with a sore throat or a runny nose, or maybe just feeling run down, right? It could be more than just bad luck. Chronic inflammation might actually be the culprit behind your weakened immune system. But have no fear, we've got some solutions. So first of all, how does inflammation wreak havoc on your immune system? Well, you might be thinking, what does inflammation have to do with making me sick? Well, here's the deal. When your body is in a constant state of inflammation, your immune system can't do what it was designed to do. It's like your body's too busy putting out fires of the inflammation to actually focus on fighting those viruses and those everyday colds. Your body is innately designed to heal itself when it's given the proper tools and it's being treated properly, if you will. And so when you're under chronic inflammation, it can't do what it's supposed to be doing. And so we'll break down what all of that means and how you can start fixing it. But first, some of the signs that your immune system could be struggling is if you are in fact getting colds all the time. That's a huge red flag. But there's other things like feeling sluggish, or you're catching every bug that's going around, or it's taking you forever to recover from a simple cold. That could mean that your immune system it's on the struggle bus, right? And we will discuss more on some common signs so that you can figure out if inflammation is in fact wearing you down. You might be getting poor sleep. That could be also another factor, is not being able to sleep. So what's actually behind all this inflammation? So there's a lot of things and there's a lot of factors that go into what causes this inflammation. but certainly poor diet is one of them. And what I mean by that is that we are not getting enough of the nutrients, and if you're constantly inflamed, you're not absorbing the nutrients. And so you could be not getting enough omega-3s versus your omega-6s. And omega-6s come from your refined sugars, your processed and your ultra-processed foods that we tend to eat when we're under stress, which is another factor in causing this inflammation, is a tremendous amount of stress. And so when we're under a lot of stress, we tend to grab for those easy fixes or those ready-made meals, and those are filled with all of the bad stuff, right? Then put on top of that poor sleep. And that's a huge one. Sleep is so important to get 7 to 9 hours of good quality sleep. And so, trying to go to bed at the same time every night, making sure that your room is dark and cool. And if it's not dark enough, consider wearing an eye mask to help keep the light out. I've been wearing one for years, and it just helps. I can wake up and, it's light out. I wake up naturally. So, getting that circadian rhythm back into play. And then, again, that junk foods, trying to eat more quality foods, getting your omega-3s up by eating, leafy greens, fatty fish, your berries, your colorful berries like blueberries, raspberries, strawberries. Just make sure they're those, if you're getting those, that you are getting organic. And then, most people don't even really realize that all of this and what they're doing is compounding and making them sick or weakening their immune system. And so, it's like the compound effect. When it might not just be one factor. It might not just be that you're under stress. It might not just be that you're getting poor sleep, but you put all of those together along with a poor diet, and you've got the perfect storm for weakening your immune system. And so, keeping your gut in check is so, so very important, because if most of you might know this, but maybe not, most of your immune system, about 70% of it is actually in your gut. And if your gut is out of whack, your immune system does not stand a chance. And so, making sure that you're feeding it the good probiotic, prebiotic, and postbiotic foods. Things like you can be eating, certainly, obviously, the leafy greens and the whole plant, not plant-based, but plant-focused diet. So you do need, in my opinion, you do need animal proteins. But just making sure that is your focus, is those quality, organic, whole, plant-focused foods. And, also, if you want to avoid some of the foods that are sneaking culprits of the inflammation, avoid, again, those refined sugars and the processed foods and the ultra-processed foods. But beyond food, lifestyle also plays a huge role, and it goes a very long way. And so, thinking back to that stress, how do you reduce stress? What works for you? I mean, everybody's a little bit different. I when I get under stress, I tend to like to go for a quick 30-minute walk, just out in nature, just kind of by myself and do some thinking and winding down. Other people like to journal, meditate, pray, read. There's so many things that you can do to actually bring down that stress, which will also then bring down the inflammation. And then, of course, moving. So, just something that makes you feel good, not over exercising, because that can be putting another kind of stress onto your body, right? But if you're under stress, your immune system's a little bit weakened, just getting a little bit of movement in, maybe doing some light stretching or some yoga, or just, like I said, a quick 30-minute walk, that can go a very long way into helping your immune system get stronger. And then finally, let's talk supplements. So supplements that can help are omega-3s. Just make sure that if you are taking an omega-3, that it is a very good quality tested omega-3, because there are so many of them on the market and they're not processed properly, and you're really not getting what you think you're getting. Also, vitamin D. The best way to get vitamin D is obviously from the sun. So if you're going out in the sun in the morning, is the best time. And from your waist up, if you can have, your skin exposed and absorbing the sun through your skin in those areas can help boost your vitamin D. With the days getting a little bit shorter as we go into winter, that's really one of the reasons that we are lower in vitamin D. So, people up north who are indoors most of the time in the winter, and they're not outside and the days are shorter, those people tend to have lower vitamin D levels than, say, people like myself that are down in Florida. And then probiotics can also help reduce inflammation, but those are kind of, you've got to be careful which ones, and you got to make sure that you're getting the right probiotic for you and for your gut. And so, again, just to kind of wrap up, if your immune system, if you feel like you're constantly catching colds, it could be your immune system, it could be inflammation. That's really, so many of us, about 95% of all Americans are omega-3, omega-6s are way out of whack. And that is causing inflammation, chronic inflammation, which is then hurting our immune system. So if you're ready to finally take control of your health, it might be time to check that omega-3, omega-6 balance. And you can start with that balance test. It's very quick. It's easy. Like I said, it's in home. It's inexpensive. And it'll show you exactly what's going on in your body. And you'll get some personalized insights to help you reduce that inflammation. And then, of course, I will help with that as well on how you can boost your immunity and start to feel like yourself again. So I hope this was helpful. Thanks for tuning in, and I will look forward to talking to you next week. Bye for now. Hey friend, I hope today's episode brought you some real value. If it did, would you take just 30 seconds to share it with a friend who might be struggling to get her gut in check? And if you're feeling extra generous, leave me a review on Apple. It absolutely lights me up knowing that this podcast is making a difference for you. All right, it's time for me to grab my protein shake and get my gut happy. I'll see you back here next Tuesday for another episode of Gut Fix. And until then, stay happy and stay healthy.